Hello and welcome back to World Breakers. Tonight we are going to be doing something a little different. So let's go with Max. Go ahead and whenever you're ready, start the recap.
All right. So we had infiltrated the Strixhaven Star, and our investigation rolls were absolutely terrible. But we did manage to find a few things that revealed that the Silk Ball team that was playing last year had died because they were playing during a storm, which wasn't odd, but the coach wasn't anywhere around, and this weather suddenly and drastically became dangerous and killed most of the team. Or was it all of the team?
The previous year, it was all of the members of the varsity team. So anyone that was like second string or anything like that, they were not. It was the ones that were on the field.
Yeah. And I can't remember if anything significant happened after that, but I remember we went back to each other's dorms and started getting ready for tests with our study group and everything. And we were just going through all of the stuff we found.
Yes. And I believe you were awarded 2 rerolls for your test.
Yes.
And do remember that... Hold on. Let me look at which one it is. You know what? It should be in your notes here. Hold on. All right. You're in the horticulture club, and you get a plus to D4 for nature and survival.
Okay.
So, if the role requires nature or survival, there we go. You will get a D4. So you have two rerolls and a D4 for nature and survival. Make sure you're keeping tabs on that. Yes. So you just spent 3 weeks going to class, going to work, going to your horticulture club, and nothing significant has happened in these 3 weeks. Most of the time, if you're not in class, working, or at a club meeting, you are studying, just continuous, doing little limericks and poems and all kinds of things that you can think of to remember the information. And it seems to be, you feel like it has stuck with you. You feel pretty confident about the test that you're going to take. Now, would Toryn be the kind of person who stays up all night the night before and does like a cram sesh? Or would he be like, I'm going to bed early, get up and make like a big breakfast? This is the day before the test. What would he be doing?
I think possibly it's a little bit of a mixture of both. He was probably up late helping Evan study and cram.
Yeah.
And didn't get much sleep just because all of the stuff was floating around in his head, but eventually did get like maybe a couple hours of sleep before waking up and getting to class way too early. Because anxiety wouldn't allow him to be late.
Okay, so for the first test, you get to like you grab a breakfast. You don't go to the cafeteria, like sit down, because you're afraid that you're just going to be late. So Toryn goes to the cafeteria and like grabs a banana and a yogurt and like runs to class. Like he's running from the time that he is woken up until the time that he gets to the biblioplex. And you do notice that you are the only person there. The teacher hasn't even arrived. The biblioplex is open, and Drazimir, he's just kind of wandering around, putting books up and things like that. You do see Evan, like, sitting at one of the tables with like 6 books out, and he is just passed out on top of the books. And then time ticks by slowly. You feel your anxiety just start to weld up. Like, did I have the wrong day? Am I late? Did I already miss the test? All of those thoughts running through your head when finally the Dryad teacher, professor, she arrives. Toryn, you made it here before me. I didn't even have my coffee this morning.
Toryn has definitely woken up Evan at least 3 times, going like, did we get the day right? Is everything okay?
He just sort of nods. He nods yes to whatever question you ask and just goes back to sleep.
And as soon as the Dryad teacher shows up, he jumps out of his skin. Completely forgot to bring his crown, so it doesn't even go invisible. Not just because early morning and test jitters, but also because he does not trust her.
Right. Fair enough.
Good morning.
Well, right this way. If you're the first one here, you might as well go ahead and take your exam.
Oh.
Oh, yes. Did they not tell you? The exam is taken individually.
Toryn thinks about that for a sec and doesn't know whether to feel relieved or more nervous.
She walks to the classroom and sort of beckons you to follow her. She does have like a small coffee in her hand and a couple of papers. I'm assuming he follows.
Yeah, he just like lets her go ahead for a couple seconds, if for nothing else, to let her have a couple sips of coffee and just really quick tries to do a breathing exercise to like calm him down. Just like breathes in and just kind of shakes everything out a little bit before walking into the classroom.
You walk into the classroom and you see her desk is in the normal spot, but like the communal desks that are normally there are gone. There are no desks in the room for like students to sit at. And instead there's just like a big tarp in the middle of the floor. She goes, stand on the tarp.
Toryn kind of looks between her and the tarp and hesitantly steps in.
All right. So, Here's how this will happen. I will ask you a question. You will answer the question. If you get the question right, you will receive points towards your grade. If you get the question wrong, well, you'll have a consequence, and you will receive negative points to your grade. If you do not answer the question at all, it is as if you got it wrong. Do you understand?
A big gulp and a nod.
Very well. Here is your first magical physiologies test. Question 1. True or false? Slotty are aberrations known for their regenerative abilities and magic resistance. If you don't,
I didn't write down what creature type.
If you personally, Max, do not know the answer, you are allowed to roll a history or nature check.
And the D4, is that just a one-time use, or is that any nature check?
It's once per, I believe, per short rest. Let me look.
Okay.
Let me look real quick. Once per long rest. Once per long rest, you get a D4 to your nature.
Okay. And it's exclamation point R1D20? Space 1D20?
Yeah, space 1D20. Yeah.
Alright. I'm doing nature because that has a bonus.
Alrighty. And then when you do your 1D20, just put a plus and then your modifier.
Okay. I rolled a 7 total. Can I guess?
You can guess, or you can use one of your rerolls.
How many questions are there? Do I know?
She didn't tell you?
I'll use a reroll.
Alright.
Gotta start off good. You gotta start off good. And I'm gonna also roll that D4.
Okay.
Okay. 13 total.
Oh my goodness. 13 will be enough. You know this answer to be true.
Okay. Toryn second guesses himself, but goes, true?
She goes, correct. Next question. She sees that you're nervous and she just take a deep breath. All right. This next question is multiple choice. Do not be intimidated. You know this well. All slotty are dangerous and unpredictable, but which two are the least powerful? A. Red and blue. B. Green and gray. C. Green and blue. Or D. Red and death.
Well, it's not red and death. Greener spellcasters, so they're probably more dangerous. red and blue?
Correct. Look at you using your actual real life knowledge.
I wrote down notes.
Look at you. Good job. Now it's going to get a little more difficult.
Okay.
She looks to Toryn, and this time she brings out a small bucket of liquid and puts it in front of him. She says, "Do not touch the liquid just yet." Next question. Which Slotty can shapeshift into small or medium humanoids? A. Green, gray, and red. B. Green, gray, and death. C. Green, gray, and blue. Or D. No Slotty have this ability.
I didn't write down which ones could shapeshift. I just wrote down that they could. I'm gonna roll for it.
Okay, so history or nature?
Total.
13. You're pretty sure by process of elimination, green and gray can shapeshift. Blue cannot. Red cannot. So, by process of elimination, the answer is B. Green, gray, and death.
Green, gray, and death.
She goes, correct. She brings out even one more bucket of liquid and puts it to the left side of you. She says, Death Slotty are rumored to have a stench so bad it can be deadly. In reality, they cast a spell. Which spell do they cast? Cloud Kill, Tasha's Caustic Brew, Contagion, or Bestow Curse?
Toryn, real quick, Toryn was a little bit distracted by the buckets. Can he see what's in them?
You can make a perception check, yeah.
Perception. Nat 20.
Nat 20.
I'm gonna regret using that.
So, in these buckets, you can see that the one in front of you is a blue liquid, and the one to the left of you is a red liquid. You can't tell what the liquids are, just they are not thick like a ooze or anything. It's like you know how Kool-Aid is very thin, like water. It's just colored. That's what it looks like. It just looks like colored water.
I think instinctually Torn's gonna try to discreetly cast Mage Armor as she's putting that second bucket out.
Okay. Roll a sleight of hand check.
Sleight of hand? Oh, I have a bonus to that. 19. I forgot to add the +3.
So what was it total?
19.
19. Yeah, you're fine. That you
Okay.
all that you know is you're doing fine.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it's Cloud Kill, but I'm gonna roll for it just in case.
Okay. This one could be a history or arcana check.
History or those are the same for me. I think I'm gonna just thematically use history because he's been studying with Adeline a lot for this.
All right.
It doesn't make a difference, but oh, I'm rerolling that.
Is that your second reroll?
Yes, this is my second reroll.
Okay.
Exact same. I guess I'm going with Cloud Kill. So I rolled a 7.
There's a long pause. And then she says, "That is correct." And she brings out a third bucket and puts it to your right.
What color's that one?
Green.
Red, green, and blue. Oh, goodness. Toryn doesn't like this, but looks to her for the next question.
She goes, "This is your final question. Which Slotty usually wields a staff and can cast the spell Fireball? Red, blue, death, or green?"
Green.
That's correct.
I wrote down that green are spellcasters and death and green are the ones he's been focusing on, so.
Yeah.
Because they're scary.
She brings out another small bucket and puts it behind you. This bucket has a gray liquid in it. She goes, "The question portion of your test has completed. You passed. Congratulations. At least part of the test."
Can I insight to see if these buckets are something that's part of the actual test, or is she setting me up in a trap?
Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check.
Um, 19.
19. She doesn't seem like malicious. She seems like a teacher who is enjoying scaring a nervous student. But other than that, it doesn't seem like she's going to murder you in the middle of the freaking library.
Yeah. Okay, just Toryn, it's on edge.
Okay. All right. She starts to move her hands, and as she does, the liquids come out of the bucket and start to swirl around you. She says, "All right. Now, pretend these are slots." And it's not like the colors are not mixing. It's as if they're like liquid slotty blobs just like circling you. Show me how you would defend yourself against a slot.
Toryn is immediately going to kind of relax a bit and realize that this isn't like an actual threat to, or at least not one that's a threat that he thought it was going to be. It's just a practical exam. And he is going to cast Zephyr Strike.
Okay.
And so for the next minute, while he remains concentrating on it, his movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. And he is going to run towards the not towards the door, but towards the corner that's like on the same side as the door. And he's just going to get in the corner and draw his bow and fire.
Okay. So Zephyr Strike, or can you repeat what that does for me?
You move like the wind for the duration. Your movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. Once before the spell ends, you can give yourself advantage on one weapon attack, and that weapon attack deals an extra d8 force damage.
Alrighty. Yeah, go ahead and make an attack roll.
Also, whether hit or miss, my walking speed increases by 30 feet until the end of the turn.
Okay.
Make an attack roll with my bow. 1d20 plus 6. Ooh, that was not good. 11.
11 will hit. You end up hitting the green slot.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll damage.
1d8 plus 4. Uh, 10.
10, alrighty. Here we go.
Excuse me.
You shoot the green liquid slod, and it dissipates and falls back into its bucket. Now it's the liquid slod's turn. I need you to roll a... where is it at? Come on. One moment. Maggie, go. I'm trying to find the saving throw. I believe it is it's either Constitution or Wisdom. Oh, there it is. It is a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay, that's the good one.
Of 14.
Ooh, 9. I do not succeed.
You are now under the effects of fear, of frightened. So you will have disadvantage on attacks as long as the creature who has frightened you. Yes?
I have my Strixhaven toy.
Okay.
Do I have to have that activated?
Yes, you would need to activate that. So I believe it's an action.
Okay.
Let me look it up.
My little Prismari toy.
Cuddly mascot. Press it to your arm, shoulder, or leg as an action, and it will stay there for 1 hour until you use an action to remove it. It can fight off fear. When you make a saving throw to avoid or end frightened condition on yourself, you give yourself advantage on the roll if the toy is on your person. You must decide to do so before rolling the d20. If it succeeds, you cannot use this toy until you finish a long rest. So it'll give you 1 advantage to end the frightened condition, but you have to use an action to activate it.
Okay.
All right. So now it is your turn.
All right. I'm gonna use my turn to do that. I'm going to action activate the little Prismari toy.
Okay.
And I think it just kind of wraps around his bow arm.
Okay.
Kind of like one of those guards that keeps your forearm from being hit by the string.
Okay, yeah.
And he just takes deep breath and glares at the sludgy slot and 2d20 plus wisdom.
Yep.
All right, 10.
10. 10 will not do it.
All right, so is there like rafters in this classroom that Toryn could potentially climb up?
There are, yeah.
Okay. Unless he has to use his action to do that, to like climb, he's gonna try to climb up there.
Okay, yeah, you can he's pretty climby. Just make an athletics check.
Yeah. Okay, athletics. Ooh, goodness. Not acrobatics? No, I'm joking. 1d20 minus 2. 14.
Yeah, that's pretty good enough. You find in one of the corners of the room, there's like a shelf that will let you leap off of it and pull, and you're able to catch the beam and then pull yourself onto one of the exposed beams. And normally, like avian creatures are up in these rafters, like just during class, chilling. So there are a couple of nests and stuff up here. So you're like, watch out for the bird's nest. And then you continue on to, oh yes, I am in exam right now.
Yeah.
I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Pretty good. Roll 1. 20 plus 5. 19.
19. That will succeed. Hold on. Okay. That is 3, 6, 9. The goose drink wine. It's 11. And 14. 19 divided by 2 is 9. You would take 9 points of damage. As one of the slots sends a fireball in your direction. It doesn't explode as big as a regular fireball would. You can assume that whoever is casting the spell, probably your teacher, is using like a careful spell to not damage the rafters. And you lose your balance for like half a second, but are able to stay up. It is now your turn.
And do I still have advantage versus fear until it succeeds? Is that how it works again?
No,
or is it just one time?
It's just one-time use until you finish a long rest. It is still attached to your arm, it's still cuddling you. But
Okay.
You no longer have that advantage. And you don't have to kill the fear first. Like it's a save at end of turn, so you can attack. It's just a disadvantage until the fear is gone.
Okay. Then Toryn is going to use up Zephyr Strike so that he can drop concentration on that. So he's going to use that advantage.
Okay.
So it's just a straight roll.
Alrighty.
Six. And actually, wait, let me check Zephyr Strike real quick. Oh, one weapon attack. So yeah, it has to be the bow. Okay. So that's going to be a 23 to hit.
That hits.
For 2d8 plus 4. 14 damage, 6 of which is force damage.
Okay. So you're from the rafters. You adjust your stance and are sort of shaking a little bit, trying to get the arrow in the bow. Your little Prismari toy hugs your arm, gives you a little bit of reassurance. You correct your aim and you shoot the death slod or the gray slod into its bucket. It just back into his bucket, making that hideous noise. The slots begin to dance and all suck back into their buckets as well. The professor goes, "Very well, you can come down."
Oh, Toryn was finally feeling cool and was gonna jump down and do a thunder wave. But no magic for Toryn. Alright. Torrent's gonna like look at her cautiously and look at the buckets and just very slowly put the bow that put the arrow that he was about to fire back into the quiver and just kind of drop down to like be holding on to like the rafter by his hand and then drop down again.
She picks up the buckets and puts them back behind her desk. She sits on top of her desk and starts to drink her coffee. And she goes, Toryn, well done. You have successfully passed all parts of your examination. 1/3 of your grade has been counted. You must now go and enjoy your day, whatever that means for you.
Toryn doesn't fully process that she dismisses him at first and then kind of just like awkwardly waits for something else and walks away trying to convince himself that he really passed.
Yeah, she's just sitting there drinking coffee. She doesn't really acknowledge that you're just still standing there. She's just drinking her coffee. At the time that you leave, you are supposed to start a shift at the theater. Mainly, it is a shift for the theater, for the Performing Arts Society. But there's currently not a play showing. Like, there's nothing showing, and you normally are the, ticket taker and cashier. But there was somebody who did ask you to come in a little early today. And
before Toryn goes to his work, because he did also go to the exam way too early, he's gonna just like go to the garden, feed some good berries to the shrubs, and just like spend 5 minutes there composing himself, convincing him that he did that and he is okay and can do good things.
Mm-hmm.
Before going to work.
You go to the garden, and the shrubs are in particularly high spirits today. Most people don't notice when the plants are in a particular mood. However, those who are in the horticulture club are kind of tuned into that all the different plants have their own personalities. Even if you can't speak with the plants, you can tell that they have their own moods and personalities, and they even have friends. You can tell that when one of the plants gets more attention than others, they like begin to wilt and pout, and it is a whole thing that if you told anyone outside of the horticulture club, they just wouldn't believe you. They have the emotional intelligence of like maybe a toddler, like a 2 or 3-year-old. So although they can't speak, they understand sentiment, and they have, pouting fits and things like that. You go and you feed the bushes some good berries, you water some of the plants, you speak to them. and just sort of relax. And it is calming. Your fear dissipates. And you're able to breathe a full, deep breath for the first time in the last few minutes. You didn't realize you were breathing shallow breaths and on the verge of an anxiety attack. But all that is gone, and you are calm. And your little toy is just hugging you.
Remind me, what is the toy again? Was it a elemental? Was it or?
Yes, it's an elemental, but in paint form. So it's like it's liquidy, but think Morph from Treasure Planet.
Yeah. If a water elemental was watercolors.
Right. Very, very watercolor. You have seen some people who theirs are like oil painting type texture. Yours is watercolors.
I just imagine Toryn like you know those videos of like farmers who like set up like those little Dr. Pepper bottles with the milk for the goats and they have to go and untangle the goats?
Yes.
I imagine Toryn doing those with some of the little baby shrubs and some goodberry juice and just untangling them before looking at them and sighing and just going like, you guys are too much, and then just heading to work.
You head to work, and it was your manager that asked you to come in early, so no big deal. Until you enter your work and you go to your normal station, which is the ticket booth and stuff, and normally it's kind of a mess because Lorraine, bless her heart, she just wants to help. But has the attention span of a goldfish and moves all kinds of things around. But today, it is completely spotless, and there is a note sitting on your little podium addressed to you.
I think Toryn, previously to having taken the test and gone to the garden and like gone like, okay, the test is over, I did well and I'm okay, would have not trusted this note and probably tried to check it for traps despite not knowing how to even do that. So he just kind of sees it and just casually opens it.
You open it like with it still on the podium, and you're as far away as possible. You use one of your arrows to like open it, so you don't touch it.
Yeah, like letter opener.
Yeah.
I'm saying previously to this, he would have been opening it like this, but today he just like kind of takes an arrowhead and just opens it like a normal person.
Okay, so he's being very normal today. Let's see how long that lasts. You open the letter, and it says, "Hi dear, I hope you don't mind. I cleaned your workstation. I'm waiting for you at the back of the stage. XOXO CAD."
Is this the first time that something like that's happened?
Yes. It's been more of when you come into work, like he stops by your station and chats with you for a long time. But this is the first time anything sort of other than friendship has been stated, even though it's not explicitly clear. I feel like Toryn wouldn't take that as 100% he's into me. It would be sort of like, what does that mean? What does that mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Torryn's not socially what's the word? Soren doesn't know anything about social situations, and everything I said about Toryn being fine before this immediately goes away, and he just kind of sinks below the desk and immediately starts having a panic attack and overanalyzing each letter of this note.
How long do you think he sits there?
Let me roll a d12. Like a solid 4 minutes.
Okay.
Can
Go ahead.
Would he know? He doesn't know if anyone's even awake, let alone available to help him read this. Torn is going to take the note and kind of try to hide it in the desk, but then realize that by hiding in the desk, it means he would have seen it. So he kind of just throws away the envelope and folds up the letter and puts it in a new envelope but it's not the same envelope, and puts it on the desk, and he's gonna pretend he didn't read it, and he's gonna just happen to stumble upon the meeting place and just be making the rounds on the backstage.
Okay.
That's what he's going to pretend to do. He's going to pretend he didn't see it.
I'm going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. That's 3. There it is. I wish that was in that one. 8.
8. Alrighty. So he's having such an anxiety attack that he forgot to put your name. He forgot to put his name back on the envelope. So it's just in a blank envelope.
I mean, he wasn't doing this in any way that was believable, but he's just gonna put it back and pretend he didn't see it. And go, air quotes, make the rounds and stumble upon where he's supposed to meet Cad.
All right. So, all right. Let's see. How is this going to play out here?
Where did it say to meet him again?
Behind the stage.
Behind the stage? Okay.
Where's... Oh, goodness gracious me. Somehow I skipped it. Alrighty. You see Kadoris sort of like a script under his arm, and he's sort of practicing to himself. His fluffy hair is kind of like extra fluffy. He's wearing vibrant greens and golds. His ears are nice, long, pointed. You can tell he is high elf at this point. His vest is like open a little bit on the chest, as if maybe he's been here for a while at this. You notice something. Actually, make a perception check.
Also, as Toryn approaches backstage, he sees a broom and just starts sweeping the stage, even though the stage was already swept last night. But that's what he's doing. That's his
fine.
story. He is sweeping. That would be 7.
7. You do not notice. But as you're sweeping, he sort of turns around and finally sees you and sort of walks with a purpose towards you. Not necessarily running, but he's walking faster than normal pace. And he goes, Toryn, I thought you would have been here a long time ago.
Morning, Cat. I passed my exam.
Congratulations! And he gives you like a nice tight hug, sort of causing you to like hold the broom awkwardly.
He kind of does that like Gravity Falls like awkward sibling hug. Like he tries to reciprocate, but like, my goodness. I love Toryn so much. Yeah. He is socially inept.
Make another perception check from Toryn.
Perception 13?
13. You notice like as Cadorus is hugging you, he smells really nice. He smells like fresh cut grass after rain.
Oh my goodness, that's like my favorite smell.
I didn't know that ahead of time.
And literally, no joke, probably also Torrance. Because he's a little nature bitch. Sweaty from the anxiety of this morning. He probably didn't have time to shower last night because he was helping Evan and then didn't get good sleep, and then immediately went to the test, and then immediately went to the garden to calm down, and then is now having panic attack sweats.
Let me see something here in a minute. He has not noticed that you were like panicking. He's like, so I left you a note, and
you did?
Did you get it?
D20. Do I have any deception? That is a 9. No. There was a note.
Yeah, I left it right on your podium. I cleaned your little ticket booth thing.
Oh yeah, I that note. Yeah, I saw that. Did you want to go over what were we doing? Robin Hood lines. When's the auditions for those? I am excited.
Yeah, that's today. I was gonna run lines with you so that you could, go and audition with me.
Torn probably knows enough about people to know that that's probably not it. But so he's gonna try to see if there's any disappointment or anything.
Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check.
Insight 16.
there's a little bit of sting of disappointment with you not seeing or saying that you didn't see the letter, but because he clearly read through your 9 deception. But he's trying to salvage the time that y'all are there and offer to run lines with you since auditions are later that day.
Oh goodness, this is not a good day for Toryn. Toryn visibly forgot that auditions were today. And Toryn's just gonna go like, okay, I'm gonna be honest, full cards on the table. I did see her note. It's just this is a lot for me today. And I would like to help running over lines, but would you wanna maybe? Torn's like trying to ask if he wants to hang out sometime, but the words refuse to come out, so he keeps just stuttering over "hang out."
So Torrance just like, would you like to?
Hey,
and as you're doing all of that, he just sort of
like dinner.
He's like softly smiling, and like pulls a hand up to his mouth to like not laugh, and he goes, what would be nice is if we like could run lines and then maybe go get a coffee. Would you be okay with that?
I like coffee.
He just sort of just like rescues you from your own from yourself stumbling upon your words. Go ahead and you're gonna make a couple checks for running lines. We're gonna do performance and history. So history for remembering the lines and performance for delivering them well.
History and a performance will do. History first. That's 15 for history.
All right.
And a solid 18 for... Wait, what? 18 for performance, yeah.
All right. So you guys are running lines and running lines and running lines for a good hour or so. And at the end of running lines, and Toryn is not confident at all. But he's just like, I'm going to read these lines so hard and so loud that even if I'm wrong, they will be right. And he does stumble over the words, originally, because of his nervousness. But slowly, Kadoris like brings you closer and closer to the stage. And you're just following him as you guys are running lines. And at the end of delivering the last line that you're running together, you hear a slow clap begin to start. And that's when you realize that there are people watching the two of you run these lines on stage.
I'll roll a d20 real quick.
Uh-huh.
You know what this is for.
Oh, yeah. He's not wearing his crown, though.
Be... No, he forgot it today. Well, I'm gonna call it wisdom.
Wisdom, all right.
We'll call this a wisdom saving throw. wanted to say Toryn didn't care, but he rolled a 7, so he does care. So he blushes and immediately casts Long Strider and runs backstage.
You run, and following behind you is Kadora's going, wait!
He stops, but like he's just backstage. Like he's not. He's yeah. This is his form of invisibility for now.
He runs up to you and like puts his hands on your arms, just like, hey, it's okay. You did amazing. They loved it. You got the part.
That was the audition?
Well, yeah, I don't think you would have actually went to the audition if you knew it was happening.
Toryn like goes to protest, but then like kind of admits that yes. like he doesn't say anything, but he goes to protest and just stops.
No, let's go get a coffee, celebrate, and then we can deal with all this later.
Oh, okay. Toryn kind of lets Cad take him out of the theater as he tries not to think about the fact that since he got the part, he's going to have to be on stage.
Yes.
In front of however many people decide to show up.
Mm-hmm. So you guys go to the cafe as it is up and running again. You do see Mina is behind the counter, and she sort of like waves to you. You guys get to a small booth, sort of private, sort of away from everything. There are the little critters that are amidst the like mural are running back and forth, a little more active than normal. All right. Do you guys get I'm assuming you both get a coffee.
Yeah, I don't think Torrn's coffee order is super complicated. I think most of the time he probably drinks like a chai tea or something very herbal.
Mm-hmm.
Like the most complicated thing about it is probably oat milk or almond milk or something like that.
Okay.
Like he's not a vegetarian, but he does try to stay away from some things just because,
Yeah. Okay.
But like he does hunt and stuff, but I think Toryn. I'm gonna roll real quick. I'm gonna go with the dice. I think Toryn lets himself relax a little bit and not like just for today, after like 3 weeks of worrying about the safety of everyone and having to stay in school and everything. I think for once, Toryn just allows himself to enjoy coffee and be a college student and not worry about being in payroll or the fact that he probably has forbidden things inside of his room, or the fact that his friends jeopardized his relationship with his childhood friends a lot. Like, for a few hours, the only thing Toryn worries about is what the heck am I going to say next to make sure that there is no awkward silence.
You order your coffee with almond milk, and Kadoris orders a black coffee with sugar, and he orders for you and for him bagels with dragon breath peppers with cream cheese. And he goes, you just have to try this. And he also asks for like extra sugar for the table. It doesn't take long before it comes to the table, and he like pushes the bagels over towards you and then sprinkles a little bit of sugar over the peppers. He goes, all right, go try it.
Toryn cocks an eyebrow, but also this probably isn't the weirdest thing that Toryn's ever tried, and takes a big ol' bite out of it.
Okay. I need you to make a con save.
We're doing stuff today.
We are doing stuff today.
I believe that's +5. Yeah, +5. No, +3. I was thinking Dex. Four. Net 1.
Oh, these are spicy. These aren't just habanero peppers. They were also grilled with dragon breath. The flavor is amazing, but instantly after you take that big old bite, your eyes begin to water. And the only thing you have is a hot coffee.
Toryn casts Ray of Frost on his tongue. And I take...
You don't take any damage. It's not a a big...
Oh no, I'm casting Ray of Frost on myself.
Oh, okay.
I take 5 damage.
Are you still up?
As I quickly realize No, I'm still up. Toryn just quickly realizes it's probably not a good idea to cast damaging cantrips on yourself.
Yeah. Kadoris runs over, gets out of the booth and comes to the other side where you're sitting. He's like, "Are you okay?"
How?
You are very aware of how close he is sitting to you now.
Toryn does... I don't know what Toryn does to go invisible, but it is very much... after 3 weeks of spending time with Cad, he's probably recognized the movement that Toryn does right before he goes invisible.
Mm-hmm.
And Toryn just stays frozen, maybe hoping that means that no one can see him.
Make a perception check.
Oh, goodness. Why not? D20 plus, I think it's a 4. Yeah, that's 4. I really wish I had my dice tonight. 5. Another one.
Okay. You see him go, Toryn, and he's like looking around. He's basically pretending he can't see you.
Do I believe him? Or?
You don't know.
You know, I think Toryn believes that he has gone fully invisible right now, and is going to slide under the table.
Okay.
And after a moment, I think Toryn takes a breath and his tongue thaws, and goes to equilibrium, probably still hot though, and realizes, oh, I forgot my crown, I'm not invisible right now. But decides to make a game out of it, and runs out of the cafe, but not before just kind of tapping him on the shoulder and saying, "You're it."
Alrighty.
I'm gonna run and hide.
Okay. Make a stealth check.
I'm gonna try to do what I did on the first day, and I'm just gonna try to jump onto one of the bookshelves in the biblioplex and just lay flat on top of it.
Okay.
Stealth.
You know what I do?
22.
22?
Yeah.
When rolling, go ahead and type out the command without the modifier and then copy it.
That helps.
Yes. And you should be able to paste it in, and then all you have to do is add your modifier and hit enter whenever you have to make a roll. 22. You hear coin hit the table, and you look back for half a second, and you see that he grabbed your coffee and his coffee, and he's got like a bagel dangling out of his mouth. And he's like, "Wait!"
I take my head start.
And he's running after you. He rolled a 19, so he can't find you. He does know that you went to the biblioplex, but he like is going, Toryn.
I just kind of
Toryn.
I just kind of wait till he's like standing on the end of an aisle, just looking both ways, and I just take an arrow out of my quiver and drop it sharpened up so that it doesn't hurt him, and just kind of drop it out his head.
He looks up at you. He's still got he's got the bagel on top of his coffee because he's like, I'm not letting go of this bagel. He's like, I'm very confused of what is happening right now. Could you come down here and...
I just drop another one.
Do you want your coffee?
Oh, I thought he didn't see me.
No, he looked up and went, I am very confused at what's going on right now. Do you want your coffee? Yeah, Toryn's gonna say, okay, and
kind of does a backflip off of the bookshelf and grabs the coffee and says, "Sorry, I've only ever hung out with 2 people before I came to Strixhaven."
Interesting. I don't believe that.
I believe that he doesn't believe that.
Yeah, he just says, I don't believe that. He goes, Toryn, you're odd, but not like in a I would avoid you type of way.
See, the problem is people don't avoid me. I tend to avoid people.
But why?
Well, I've been going to the school counselor about that, and they say that it might be something to do with a crippling sense of anxiety.
Well, we can work on that. I mean, you did get the lead in Robin Hood.
What? Doesn't run, but he just kind of lets that sink in and going, how many friends do you have, Kat?
Oh, I don't keep count of people I consider my friends. I consider almost everyone my friend unless they do something specifically to not be my friend.
Toryn just kind of looks at him and just kind of goes, huh.
So,
You'll go.
no, go ahead.
That was canonic in the conversation, by the way. I'm glad we're friends. You make me do things I wouldn't normally do.
Well, you have the potential to do anything you set your mind out to be. You don't give yourself enough credit.
Yeah, the counselor said the same thing.
Well, I'm not here to counsel you. I'm here to grow our friendship and maybe call this a date. And he makes a cocks his head to the side with a smirk.
Toryn doesn't say anything, but kind of does that thing where you look down and just he cracks a little bit of a smile and doesn't say no and kind of kicks the ground a little bit.
Go ahead and make a general charisma check.
Okay.
It's a
Oh, I didn't copy that right.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's like
Alrighty.
So that's an even 10, which for Toryn is pretty well.
Yeah, that's not terrible. So you guys head over towards the garden as Cad sort of knows it's a place you'd like to spend some of your time. And he hands you your coffee and he like finishes his bagel, not breaking any kind of sweat. And like takes you where the fountain is. And just y'all sit and you talk for a little while. Him leading the conversation a little more than you, as you're just that nervous until you realize that you have another class to get to. Now you can skip class and stay here with Cad. Or you can go ahead and head to class.
I'm gonna say, except for whenever the rest of the party like desperately needs him to, I don't think Toryn has missed a single class.
Mm-hmm.
And do I know Cat's schedule enough to know if he has any classes?
Not
right now.
Not currently.
Okay. Unless he says anything, I think Toryn's gonna skip class.
Okay. You two decide to skip class. Alright. You can make another charisma check if you'd like.
That's a 21.
21, way better. You skip class and you, being in your own element of the garden, feel a little more comfortable with yourself, and the conversation just begins to flow and is no longer awkward. You guys decide to get up and, do like a little tour of campus. There is a kind of like a river that goes throughout the entire campus. It goes through all the campuses. So there are like little bridges over this river in many different spots, and you travel to the Prismari campus bridge and sort of watch the fish swimming, and you think about your friend teaching the fish. Make a perception check.
Also, real quick, is he also Prismari? I don't remember.
No.
I didn't write it down.
No, he is not.
He's not?
I think he's Quandrix.
Oh, he was Quandrix, right?
I believe so. Let me re-look it up before I'm like 100% on that. Yes, he is a first year Quandrix.
Okay. Perception? 20. Or a 24.
Mm-hmm. He, you see, he takes something out of his pocket and sort of drizzles it into the water, and you see, like, it looks like fish food, like he's feeding the fish. You also see that on, like, in the water, these fish seem to have some kind of glow about them. You don't know if they're reflective or if they're like bioluminescent, but it's starting to get dark, and you guys have been hanging out all day. You went and got lunch, and now it's like it's time for like people to start heading back to, either people start going to the tavern around this time or they start heading back to their dorms. And sort of Cad sort of goes, hey, maybe we should head to the tavern, have a couple drinks.
I think Toryn is going to kind of get like, whenever Toryn's comfortable around someone and he has an idea, he gets this like mischievous look, but it's not like ill-willed or anything, if that makes sense. And he just kind of looks at him and says, I think I have a better idea.
All right. What do you have in mind?
In all the time that Torrin's been on campus, I think he's found, not just in the garden, but all the best hiding spots. And I think his favorite one, I don't know where it would be, so I'll leave that up to you. Probably on main campus or Prismari, or maybe Witherbloom. But Toryn has found the tallest, most climbable tree. And whenever he wants to be alone, especially at night, he will go to that tree and climb it and watch all, kind of like people watch and look at all of the lights on campus, and I'm sure has a great view of the stars. And I think Toryn wants to bring Cat there.
Okay. Yes, so in the central campus, there's like a commons area where there's a bunch of landscaping. There's like a bunch of mini gardens, but in the central of the campus, there's a big fountain. And then there's like a garden where there's benches and stuff that people can come and sit. And on either side of the entrance and the exit to this central little commons area, there are two really big trees. However, only one of them is climbable near the exit. And so you bring him there, and at first he's like, oh, this is a beautiful spot, fountain. And he's like, checking out the fountain and sort of going, heading towards one of the benches. And that's when he sort of notices that you are climbing the tree. And he looks kind of confused at first, but just goes with it, and he attempts to climb the tree.
Sorry. I think normally Toryn could climb this tree super fast, but I think he's going to go slow and just make sure that Cad doesn't get lost or feel like he's falling behind.
Yeah. Cad attempts to climb the tree, and he slips and falls down. He makes it...
Yeah, try to catch him.
Yeah, you can try to catch him. Go ahead and make an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics, I'm good at that. Oh, real terrible. 14.
14. That's just enough to like catch him from making himself like he doesn't fall, and you don't pull him up because he's heavier than you expected him to be. But you stop him from falling and hurting himself. And he just sort of climbs back down. He's like, well, that's not a me thing. But you have fun. I will watch you climb this tree.
See him not being able to climb up the tree with me. In a weird way, Toryn, like a very small part of Toryn, feels happy because that means that this space is just his and he can be alone there, but also wanted to share that space with him. He tries to think of a solution, but there's just nothing that he can do to help bring him up. So Toryn is going to Toryn's going to walk with him to the tavern.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's kind of a space where they both can exist. And Toryn's not the most comfortable in the tavern. He usually just stands in the corner, but on the way there, he just kind of makes a little light ball and just kind of plays with it in his hands and just has a good night with Cat.
Okay, you guys head to the tavern, and as you're there, you do see that it's all cleaned up from the incident that happened a few days ago. Me looking. Okay. Oh. I went too far, I think. I did. Okay, here we go. You see or hear excitement fill the air. On the tavern's patio, there's 3 student mages with brightly colored hair, and they begin to sing a jaunty tune. And there's a crowd that heads towards them. You hear one of the students that are like walking that way. I heard they finally got some wizard gizzard machines in there, says one of the students. You have to come play with us. And you just sort of overhear that, and Cad goes, "What's wizard gizzard?" And the student's like, it's just a, well, I can't really explain it. Why don't you just come to the back here. He looks to you and goes, well, are you interested in checking it out?
Probably for the 100th time today, just does one of those little shrugs where it's like, I guess we're doing things today.
All right.
And follows them.
Okay. Then Cad will grab your hand and sort of follow the other student into the tavern. And that is where we're going to end for tonight.
This is going to end badly.
Maybe not.